Hey folks, we're here. It is Feature Friday, now on Tuesdays. Hey folks, my name is Kurt. I'm with LifterLMS. I'm also here with Magic Will Middleton, also with LifterLMS. And today on our Feature Friday episode, we're going to talk about something that is super, super important, but it's one of those things you might not thought about until you have a customer complain or you get a lot of support tickets where people are saying, I can't remember my password, or I can't access this, or I can't access that. And that is password strength. The site's going to come ready to go. Password strength, strong. If you believe in security, if you believe in keeping everything really tight and secure, you want to start thinking about password security. But oftentimes, you don't need to be horribly secure in your site, and you might want to lower the security required for especially for your students to access the site and access their courses. Will, how do you feel about some of that?
I think that's very true. I think that leaning into security as much as possible is awesome. Encouraging your customers to lean into security as much as possible. I think there's sort of an unavoidable truth, though, that people want things to be as easy as possible, or to be, I don't want to say lazy, but I think that they want to keep things as easy as possible. They're going to be reusing their passwords. So we do have options for you to be able to make that password easier, but we do always recommend best security practices keep it difficult.
It's been all sides of the spectrum for me doing the agency work. Will, I know it's probably the same for you, but I don't want people to watch this and think, oh, I'm an idiot because I think whatever, right? No, you're not an idiot. This comes up a lot. So there's one side of the spectrum where people are like, how do I lock down my videos? How do I keep people from copying my content? How do I disable the right click? And there's all these things. And we've covered a lot of that in these Feature Fridays in the past. But there's also a lot of people, I've had people come to me, Will, and say, I don't even want people to have to sign into the site. Like my students, and maybe they're working with kids, maybe they're working with drug rehabilitation, I don't know. But they'll say, I don't even think my students have the capacity to have another username and password. Can we just bypass that? And sometimes you have conversations, and maybe these are future Feature Friday things. You have conversations about single sign-on. You have conversations about social sign-ons. You have conversations about all these other ways to get people to access their site. But today, we want to talk about you're using a standard enrollment form to get people into the site, and you want to be able to have control over the level of password security on that form. I'm struggling to say this in a way that makes sense. I feel myself struggling, Will. I don't know why. No. But you're going to launch into a screen share and show us how to do this? Absolutely.
So I have a demo site up here. What'd you say?
I said, that's because you're a genius. And by the way, folks, if you're watching this live, you want to jump in with a comment, let us know where you're from, or if you have any questions about this, put it in comments. I'll moderate the comments, and we'll do the screen share.
Sounds great. Well, thanks for the intro, Kurt. And like Kurt said, there's a lot of different ways you could want to design your website for all kinds of different reasons, depending on where you end up on the spectrum of, hey, do I want my password to be easy or do I want it to be complicated? Let's show you how to do both here. So on all sites that have LifterLMS on them, we can navigate to LifterLMS forms in the back end here. Again, that's under LifterLMS forms. Now, this is all going to be within the block editor because LifterLMS has a unique editing interface that allows you to edit the sign-up form for your courses with blocks. Now, when you first see this page, it might feel a little bit intimidating, but I'll break it down so it'll feel easy. LifterLMS forms, and I chose to edit my form. I love this document overview feature. If I pop this open, we can see really what this page is made of. It gives me an outline of what I'm looking at on screen. I have an email. It says, what is your email? Confirm your email. What's your password? Confirm your password. And it asks for first or last name. Now, this is the billing information form that will appear on all of my courses and memberships for the Access plan. So we can modify what information we ask for. If we want to ask for a phone number, we can do that. Or if you wanted to ask for custom information, we have some tutorials for how to do that as well. But that's a highlight of how to use the LifterLMS forms. Specifically, the password field has fields that only pertain to this one thing. So I see password, confirm password. And so I'm going to edit this field. And this actually takes me to edit a WordPress block. But once I click that edit button, I can see, let me open the document overview again. I'm editing a block that appears in the edit account page. It appears on the billing information page and on the registration page. It's what's known as a reusable block. That's why we see this purple reusable notation on it up here at the top. And so we have to click into the reusable block to be able to edit it. And so now that I'm editing this single block that's used in multiple places, on the user password option here, over on the right-hand side, I have an option for minimum password strength. So I can change that to weak if I'd like. So minimum password strength is weak. Minimum characters, I think the minimum you can do here is 6. And then, of course, we want to show password strength meter, but we can also enforce it to be strong. We could also enforce that you have 16 character passwords if we really want to take security far. So whether you want to make security more complicated by requiring a strong password 16 characters, or whether you want to make it 6 character password and make it a weak password requirement, you can control that all from this place. And then once you are happy with how you've set your password requirements, let's go back to my billing information form. Go ahead and click update. It's going to let us know that we are updating both our form and that password block, or pattern as they call it. Yeah, so that is how you can update the password strength options. And this is going to apply to your courses, your memberships automatically. And it's also going to apply to when people are updating their account in the edit account field, or when people register with a voucher. This single password field I edited is in a lot of places. But let me pass it back to you, Kurt. What do you think about all that?
It's one of those things that as you're doing the screen share, anyone that's watching that right now is going to go, that's it? That's all I got? That's it? But it's one of those where it's one of those hidden gems, and it could be super frustrating if you don't know specifically where to go, what to do, or what the main purpose is, the root cause. And I think it's important that whenever we have these kinds of conversations, especially when it comes to security, I think it's important that we have that root cause conversation and put those disclaimers and quotes all over what we talk about, right? Are we saying, yeah, absolutely, take all the security out of your website. You don't need a secure website. Heck with it. Have at it, man. Just do whatever you want to do. No, right? You want to have good hosting. You want to have like all the best practices that you can think of. But does your project need a strong 16 character password for all of your users? And when I get to that level of conversation, I'm like, you know what, we've got some give here. We could probably do, medium strength, 8 digits. Your students are going to be students. They're not going to be administrators. They're not going to be editors. They're not going to be managers. And maybe that's when you have that conversation with those certain roles where you say, hey, if you've got a higher role within the website, we expect you to have a more secure password. Maybe you have those types of conversations with people. But for the main purpose of most course creators' websites, I'm a real big fan of like medium password strength on like 8 characters.
Yeah. And you can do that inside of LifterLMS because you have so much flexibility. It's not just single password requirement. It's flexible to what you want for your website.
Yeah. And then one last thing is LifterLMS has a wonderful community of vetted experts. And so if you are building out a project, or you've had a project for a while and you want to take it to the next level, or you want to know like where some of these little things are inside the platform, reaching out to experts on the experts page might be the next great action for yourself. You can go to lifterlms.com/experts, and there's a great community in there. There's also a great community in our Facebook page. There's free support through the Facebook page, through the community there. You've got help at lifterlms.com that you can email for assistance with things. And if you are a customer that is on one of our bundles, you've got a support package where you could actually file an actual support ticket with the support team and get direct assistance. So I just want to make sure that if you are looking at LifterLMS, you've got every reason to look further.
Absolutely.
All right. Is there anything else you want to cover? Or do we say that's it? We'll see you next Feature Friday on a Tuesday.
I think we covered it.
All righty. We'll see you Feature Friday on a Tuesday.